Welcome back to Roadside Rescue. Another day, another too much to do, not enough time. I might have had enough time to like get that motor mounted up. And that Subaru I pulled yesterday, I had to order a couple of extra parts for it. I think the fork might be fine. I'm gonna take it apart and look. That slave cylinder, the line, I might replace those. But I replaced the alternator in this earlier this year in my neighbor's truck. And I don't know if it was the battery or the alternator. Their battery died. Got a new battery, I'm guessing. And then he said the voltage was on the dash. So let me just warranty that alternator for you real fast. Although it's not real fast, it's gonna take half a day. At least I'll get paid half of it from the auto parts store. And I'm upgrading it to a better alternator so I don't have to do this again. 150 amp instead of 130. They do have a rebuilt one with 180. That might have been what I put in there, but I'm not trusting those rebuilt ones as much as these new ones anymore. You can really just tell the difference on the inside when you look at the coils. In fact, I just bought an alternator for another truck and I bought the gold one. I'm buying the new ones, not the rebuilt ones right now. So I think I'll probably just stick with that. Although this is only the second one I've had to deal with this year out of like closer to 50 I've put on, probably 30, maybe closer to 30, but well, we'll see how the golds do. I haven't had any warranties on those ever, so until I do, I'm just gonna start running those. Dude, I was gonna say, I can't find my scan tool, my OBD tool. I took it out on a job a couple days ago on a Juke. I remember the last car I had it on, but I think I remember talking to the customer about it while it was in my hand. He was like, oh, where can I get one of those? So I don't know where it's at. I'm gonna be trying this Innova one. I have a lot of Innova tools, my test light, some other electrical stuff. Pretty good brand. I'm excited to see the car scan Mobil 2. It can do check engine, ABS, airbag lights, maintenance reset, and even check your smog. So I'm gonna use this to double check the alternator on this job, and I'll show you what I think about it and give you a link. And this scan tool is super easy to use. All I had to do was plug it in and it connected automatically to my phone. And it's super easy to scan different modules and stuff, but you can just do a complete system scan. This is one of the easiest apps to use. The user interface is super easy to understand. It'll tell you right here everything that's wrong with it, if it's ready to pass smog or not. As you can see, this one isn't, and it obviously has quite a few issues, so let's hopefully be able to fix some of those. Some of these look like they're just ABS codes that have been on for a while. I'm not really gonna mess with those. But yeah, everything you want to do, you can do here in the app. From the home screen, it's super easy to find everything. I'm going to look at the codes in a couple of different modules. And then I'm going to go ahead and just take a peek at that live data. I'll select some live data points here and check those. What I'm most interested in is the voltage. And I could see that it was a little bit low on voltage. So let's go ahead and get that alternator swapped out. If you want an Innova car scan, check out the link in the description and pinned comment for an extra good deal. Okay, reason like 5 million, all I was gonna say is I unplugged the battery. Reason 5 million why I don't have snap-on tools, or I probably won't ever, because each one of their sockets is like 50 bucks if you have to replace them. 20 if you buy them in a kit usually. Well, yesterday I had to cut my socket to make it fit, and a replacement set of sockets cost me 10 bucks. I think it only costs like 20 at the parts store, but they discount some of my tools and stuff usually. And I'm just gonna cut all of these to 3/4 lengths. Just have a rail of 3/4 lengths because I've only had a 10 millimeter up till now, but I needed a 14 yesterday. Oh, and guess what? All it cost me to replace that socket was like $2. And it's also fun when you have a bunch of beat-in, worn-in sockets. Some are coated in oil, some get a little rusty, some you can tell you use more than. It's always fun to put one in that's brand new, and then it'll get worn in a couple weeks. I did that with the 12 recently. You can tell it's a little bit newer than the rest. Anyways, time to do this alternator. I'll just show you when I get it out. It's supposed to be like a 4-hour job. I think I can do it in like 2. Probably gonna be closer to 3, but it's out. Let's get that new one in there. I just dropped the sway bar and pulled the little cooling hose right there out of the way. But you gotta get the power steering pump off, take the stud out. Where did I put that stud? Over there. And loosen the cooling lines, but if you can get it out that way, it's easier. All right, went back together, nothing crazy, probably a little less than 3 hours. And that voltage looks better. It's higher and more steady. And he said it was jumping around all day yesterday though. All right, I've got to go do an ignition. And if I have an alternator come in for that Thunderbird in time, I've already got the belt for that and the battery and terminals, so I could do that tonight too. We'll see. I'll probably clean this up and make sure I've got all the parts for that and get it going back together. All right, I had to do some work inside for like an hour, so it's probably right around 3. I'll probably get up to this job closer to 4. I've got to stop by the parts store, make sure they have what I need, but I can't run in and out to the parts store. I usually have to talk and chit chat for a few minutes. A lot of times I have to dig around for parts or run up to the hub because they haven't gotten there yet. So usually parts store run isn't something quick. It's something that's more like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, but no big deal. That'll probably be it. I'll grab the stuff for the T-Bird if they have it, but I'll probably do that tomorrow afternoon. I don't think I have anything planned yet. I do have a power steering pump and hoses in the morning, so that's gonna be fun, but I should have enough time for both. See, I can't even get into the parking lot without these guys playing around already, acting like I'm gonna run over him. Now on this next job, I stopped by this weekend and I put my scan tool in here, and this is when I'm just starting to realize that's where I left my other scan tool. I wasn't even looking for it. Good thing I was working under the dash because I saw it before I even realized. Well, the ignition switch had no voltage on the live data, so I thought it was an ignition switch issue. Let's go ahead and dig into it. I brought one with me. All right, this is probably the last thing I'm doing outside of what I was already doing today. All right, this is probably the only other thing I'm gonna do other than getting that clutch on that other motor, getting that ready. I might mount it up tonight, but I'm not gonna start putting accessories and stuff on that Subaru at my house, but I might mount the motor up and have everything ready. One time I did a clutch in Argentina, and we were crawling in the dust under the car. We didn't have an alignment pin, and the guy was like, no, we can just align it with the grooves in the flywheel. Sure enough, you can, but I'll have an alignment pin this time. I guess I'll show you what it's doing sometimes. It might not do it, but I just got started. I forgot to do that, and I found that there's a bunch of screws missing on everything. This has been taken apart before, so somebody might have already been in here messing with stuff. Some might just have some broken switch clip. I'm gonna have to pay close attention. Let's see if it does it. See, you have to turn it off yourself. So most of the time it doesn't do that though. The battery's almost dead, so that's not good. Hopefully it runs after this. Okay, here's the part I'm after. This one right here looks like this. The one in there looks original, it's GM. So I've got to push these 2 pins back right here and slide that out. That should be it. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than that. Right, but I can't see anything that's been replaced. It looks like it was just opened up and not put back together. Right. It doesn't look like a new key core to me. Nothing in here looks new. But I was going to say the lock. The steering wheel lock doesn't work though. So you just turn that. That's not good. Was this the car that tried to squish me when I was under it? 2 cars did that to me recently. No, that was a Juke, the other one. Very stiff wires and tricky connector, but I could just slide this old one out just good enough. So I think if I can disconnect it now, which I'm telling you, I can barely pry that down with all my prying tools, just far enough to pass the best. And anyways, if I can get this off, I'm sure I can slide it on the new one nice and easy. Piece of cake. All right, it's gonna be trickier than I thought. I figured out that switch real well, but I'm thinking I'm gonna have to try something else. All right, that one with the corrosion had a bad fuse. Bendy lines like that. Hopefully. but it's got a lot of stuff done to it. Okay, that fuses the trailer lights, and I was like, uh-oh. And then I looked at all the other fuses again, and I found another broken one, and it happens to be the powertrain control module fuse. And the codes, some of the codes we had were powertrain control module, loss of communication. Why did this fuse break? I don't know. But yeah, let's see how long a new one lasts at least. Hopefully they're picking up the pack with everything, because they already left to grab just that one. I think they just come in a pack with the other ones though. All right, that other trailer fuse just blew immediately. The powertrain control fuse though didn't. So let's give this a few days and see if I don't have to come back. Hopefully not. That's all I can say. Why did it blow the fuse the first time? Who knows? Who knows? The brakes were still locked up, but that feels better now. That was probably just because the motor died and they were pressing on it, and the brake booster's got a leak. Drop the idle at least. We'll check on that, how that affects the idle while it's filling up with air. Anyways, that's all looking good now. Let's see. That's gonna be it for me today. I'll just go put that clutch on that motor. I might not even drop it in. Never mind, I just got home. I don't think I'm gonna have time to drop that Subaru motor in, but I should definitely have plenty of time in the afternoon tomorrow. So, should be dinner time.